Tragic news last night that just came in late as Charlie Taylor, one of the greatest wide receivers in Washington football history, died suddenly. Charlie Taylor was the second of 7 children and played high school football at Delworth High School. And then he moved to Grand Prairie, Texas high school. He played for Arizona State as a halfback and defensive back, a two-way player that usually happened back in the days. He was a good running back. He played in the East-West Shrine Game, the Hula Bowl, and the All-American Bowl to basically have NFL teams look for him. Charlie Taylor did pretty well in his 3 seasons at Arizona State. He even played for the Arizona State baseball team. But during practice, he was hit underneath by a line drive, which ended his career. In 1964, he was eligible to be drafted in the NFL, and he was picked 3rd overall by the Washington Redskins. San Francisco took Dave Parks, and Philadelphia took Bob Brown, offensive tackle. Like Charlie Taylor, Bob Brown is in the Hall of Fame. Taylor was the UPI Rookie of the Year as a running back, and actually became the first rookie in 2 decades to finish in the top 10 in rushing and receiving. He was a good running back, but Washington decided to switch him to wide receiver in 1966, and it paid off dearly as he led the NFL in receiving both 66 and 67. He would continue to play wide receiver to his final game in 1977. In the season finale in 1975, Taylor actually became the NFL's all-time receptions leader, passing Don Maynard, who ironically died this year too. Anyhow, Taylor was the league's active leader in receiving yards for many seasons. Taylor retired in the 77 season as the all-time receiver with 649 receptions for 9,000 yards and 79 touchdowns. His receptions mark stood till Charlie Joyner broke it in 1984. Taylor combined total 10,000 plus net yards because of his rushing and kick returns. All that. He was selected to 8 Pro Bowls and part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1984. And the Sporting News, before the end of the 20th century, named him the 85th greatest football player of all time. Charlie Taylor went to the Washington front office as a scout. And then when Joe Gibbs was head coach in 1981, he said Charlie Taylor should be the receivers coach. And it worked. He was the receivers coach for Washington that won 3 titles. Super Bowl 17, Super Bowl 22, and Super Bowl 26. So he did his job. But his career ended in 94 as North Turner released him. Taylor and his wife were married in 1965 and lived in Virginia, having 3 children.